I too join my colleagues in expressing my concern about the water crisis that is looming in our city, and also because of El Nino and related natural disaster issues around the country. And as Deputy Leader of Opposition has just stated, we have been in Parliament for almost 3 weeks, and some of these issues of concern that is going to affect the lives of every citizen of this country has not been given the attention that it deserves by the Prime Minister or his 38 so-called ministers or even the members of government themselves. Now, as we speak today about the water crisis in the city, they are parading out at Holiday Inn on Sampango Convention about policies. Sorry, where? Oh, sorry, Hilton or whatever they call themselves nowadays. I'm confused about the hotels that they frequent, and but now they're parading themselves about so-called policies and discussions that will chart the course of our nation and the development aspirations of our country into the future. It is plain clear, almost close to 8 years after, that we have an incompetent Prime Minister and an incompetent government. I think every thinking Papua New Guinean, unless you Kwamplak Kaikai man, and unless you are so silly and unable to comprehend the nature of the things that are happening in the country, we continue to support a government that doesn't care about you and I. We have now had issues about medical issues in the country, health crisis in the country. Not one solution. All they do is boast about budget allocation, which is meaningless. Then we have had issues about, of course, the water power crisis in the country. And now we have an issues about water. Now the blackouts in the country is almost so frequent that we think that it is normal. That we don't have to care. Tomorrow I'm a blackout then, so we just have to live through it. I mean, you have a vibrant city of 1 million plus population in this. Port Moresby is now the 5th biggest city in the Pacific. And you don't have measures to make sure that you adequately provide water, sewage, and power to the city residents. It's no point having a government that is not capable of looking after you. So we have to call on the government to. So what are the plans that they have? You can't have a city without water for 2 or 3 weeks. How are people going to go to the toilet? How are they going to have a shower? How are they going to feed their children and their families without water? Let alone run government services, hospitals, schools, and so forth. The lack of planning is now resulting into the disaster that we are facing, the health crisis that Sepuka is talking about. The plans to establish a second reservoir for water supply in the country has been in existence for a while. In fact, it is ready, and it's down at Bunu, close to Papalele. The government is playing politics, and they have now delayed that project for 7 years. And as a result, we don't even have a standby position for water into the city. We know that the Sirinumu Dam and the rivers there are not able to feed the entire city population. But because of lack of planning, lack of attention, incompetence, we are now facing this kind of situation. It'll continue to get worse over the next few years. Because Nogat Wambla issue, power crisis has been going on for almost 2 or 3 years around the country. Not one single solution. Except they've got a Chinese contractor linking up power lines all around the country on power supplies we don't have. From Ella all the way down to Morobe. They're able to supply all these big multi-million kind of projects that have got no ability to service our people. So let us demand of our government, demand of our minister. We have 38 ministers who are very silent about what is happening in the country. None of them are able to stand up on the floor of parliament and say, these are the problems the nation is facing. I will help find a solution. Unfortunately, nobody is thinking. And that is why we are facing this crisis. So I support the call by the opposition leader and deputy opposition leader and Sepuka that the health crisis is looming. If we start having cholera and all these diseases facing the city, you have, of course, disaster on hand. Now, El Nino is just, I think, going to take full effect in a few months' time. Government has got, up in the highlands, most of them are running out of food. And shortly they'll be asking government to supply relief supplies. How long are we going to feed our people with that when the dry season extends for a few months and probably into the year? So I think this piecemeal approach of begging for others to come and help, a government writing to embassies. Where is the Australian embassy or French embassy or European Union going to go and drive a water cart to come and feed us in our economy, and yet you can't fix the services that are basic services that our people require to survive. So, some they think that this is politics. It's not politics. The reality is facing me, facing you, and every family in the country. This is not about politics. Nobody wins in politics when our people are suffering. And this is precisely why we are saying that, MARAPE does not deserve to be in that office. Who the hell is he? Just because he thinks he comes from a province that is supplying us LNG doesn't mean that he owns the country. He is incompetent. He's proven it time and time again. Out of the 15 or 16 million people in this country, you can't find one person who can help manage this country well and of course provide basic services to our people. Are we saying that we can't find that person? I think Yimi too must wake up legally. Yimi, how much loman natin, abim name loman natin. O kind long man too, Yimi to one play hero. Please.